Representative Tyler.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I rise in very strong support of this bill, which expands mandatory reporting to coaches. I think this is a real important thing to be doing. I grew up in the 50s. I was a child of the 50s, which we all look at as pretty idyllic. But as I look back at my experience in the 50s, and I look back at some of the events that happened amongst some trusted people, and I look back at some of the children in my neighborhood that came to school with bruises and black eyes, you know, we have a different perspective today than we did back in the 50s. And we need to expand that perspective to protect our children. And that's really what this is all about, to make sure the children of today do not carry bruises, whether psychological or physical, into the next generation. My first real job was in a psychiatric hospital where I was taking family histories. And one of the things I realized then, one of the things I discovered was that the history of families often is a history of abuse, often is a history of sexual abuse, and nobody was paying attention to these children. Nobody was listening to these children. Today, we've created a concept of mandatory reporters, and today in particular we're moving that concept into the coaching community. And this is a community where I remember my coaches in high school. I wasn't much of an athlete. They always put me on keeping score or the ball guy. But I remember the relationships with those coaches, and you will tell them things you wouldn't see. And even in private clubs, coming from people who come from pretty good communities, you'll see abuse. And for a coach to see a kid coming in day after day showing evidence of mental or physical abuse, being able to make that connection, this is all about protecting the children. I think this is a great bill, and with the amendments we put on it, I think it makes it even better. Let's take care of the kids. Thank you for supporting this bill.